What it do? Yo, man, listen. Today, we're going to be talking about chaos. More specifically, we're going to get mad at chaos buffers and Tacticus. Let's get right into the video. So, chaos buffers is a much more restricted and weird part of the buffing units in Tacticus because buffers, when you say buffers, the first characters that come to your mind are Eldurion, Athena, Calgar, and maybe some of you think about, I don't know, Dark Strider, or if you like Tau, like many people, you'll think, oh, Shadow Sun, whatnot. But the issue is there are more buffers in the game, but these buffers are all chaos, and the reason people don't remember them is because they aren't very good. So chaos buffers are divided into two groups. One is the non-conditional always up ones. These are Pestilent and Ahriman. Now, when I say non-conditional always up, it might be a little misleading. What I mean by this is Pestilent and Ahriman, they give their buffs to everybody. So Pestilent, his buff is when you're standing next to him, your ranged attack gets +1 blasted, right? That's pretty straightforward, no restrictions, just melee doesn't benefit that much. Ahriman, if there's a fire hex, psychic and flame damage do more, right? Everybody can benefit from this as long as you have psychic or flame. These characters are good. And they are used. Pestilent is used for Winged Prime. Ahriman is used for Muro comps. These are very, used good in Pestilence games. A little niche, but they have their little raid tech choices. However, the other three buffers we got, and the reason I made this video is because after the release of Ascor, I noticed something. So we have three buffers, right? One of them is Abaddon, which is the worst legendary in the game. There is Abrax. Now Abrax is technically a buffer because of his passive ability, which people overlook sometimes. And there's Ascor, and his passive is really good. So we just go by order, right? Abaddon, he buffs adjacent chaos units by 500 damage per hit, and he gives an additional hit if Let the Galaxy Burn procs, right? Is kind of similar to Shadow Sun, just infinitely worse in every way possible. And then there's Ahriman, or not Ahriman, Abrax. Abrax, he's more of a utility unit. People don't really think of him as a buffer because people focus on his active ability and its ability to swarm the board, clear ads, stack Nero, trope Nero Parasite, and but he does have a +1 hit psychic for adjacent chaos units, and demons also get the hit in melee as well. And then there is what's his name, Ascor. Now I did make a video titled "Draupnir Cooks with Ascor," and I was theorizing about how this character might be useful in Avatar of Cain, how he might have some niche uses, and this is going to be maybe a new meta because the damage buff he gives is conditional, but it is 1200. It got released in the game, and his passive only buffs chaos units. Now, why is this a problem? Is because these characters, they only buff chaos units, and there aren't any good chaos damage dealers in the game. There is one in the form of Volk. However, Eldurion and Calgar buff Volk better than his own War Master. Eldurion gives him 900. Calgar also gives him 900. His own guy, Abaddon, gives him 500. Now you might say, oh, what if he gets an additional hit? Yeah, it's a 50% chance. I am going to take the guaranteed 400 buff on every single hit over 50% chance to get an additional hit. It doesn't matter. Ascor is somehow even more limited currently speaking. At the time of this video, Karn has not been released yet, because there aren't any good chaos melee units. The only one I can think of is Harken World Claimer, which is 4 hits, which doesn't do anything. So it's really got me thinking, why don't we use these characters? I mean, Abrax we use, right? But we don't use them for passive. Why don't people use Abaddon and whatnot? It's because they're not good. There isn't any good chaos character. Now, Ascor, currently, there's no reason to use him. He's in guild raid at least, because there isn't a chaos character he can buff in melee, right? Like, oh, you can buff Abaddon, yeah, sure, but then you're taking Abaddon, which is not good. The biggest problem with these characters is the competition that they're going up against, right? Because Eldrion, Athena, and Calgar, they are just always active. They don't exclude factions, right? Like Eldrion and Athena, they buff Eldar more, but they still give considerable buffs to everyone else. Calgar, the same way for Imperium. So when you're bringing a character, you got to think to yourself, okay, who can this character buff, right? So if I'm bringing Volk, I'm just gonna bring Eldirion with Volk. I'm not gonna bring Abaddon. Abaddon should stack better with Volk, but it doesn't because Abaddon's not good. Even Calgar is a better buffer than Abaddon for Volk, and currently there aren't any characters that can work. If you notice, I've been saying currently a lot, is because Karn the Betrayer got revealed and whatnot. Nandi made a video about him. You should check out this video. I'll put a link in the description for his YouTube channel. He's a very nice guy. Always love him. Always love Nandi. Hi, Nandi. So Karn, according to the leaks, has 4 tier sets and then 4 hits through his passive. Now, in his video, Nandi showed that Asgore does also buff ability damage. And because I don't have a creator account, so I can't really test these things myself. So I have to rely on other YouTubers. Uh, he showed Abaddon's active using, and it's got me thinking, what if Asgore can buff Karn's 4 melee hits? Now that does lead to a very interesting situation where, oh, if you can stack Asgore, and you can probably stack him in Avatar of Cain pretty well, um, he does give a more substantial buff than Eldrion, and it might be a really interesting and cute combo where Karn, if he's not adjacent to enemy units, he can hit Asgore, which procs his passive, right? Like it's this cute combo. But just the downside of all of this is that this is only relevant for one boss. For other bosses, and the boss that this is relevant for, I think just using Neurotrope is gonna be better. The biggest problem is they've been going in this direction where conditional buffers are being added to the game, right? Asmodai, Ascore, whatnot. And I'm all for it. I support this very much. I think it's a very right direction to go in. However, Imperium and Xenos, they both have a 900, 1300 buffer, but Chaos doesn't. I think if Chaos got a 900, 1300 buffer, then there will be more variety because, oh, it wouldn't feel as bad, right? Because Karn has 4 hits plus 4 from his passive. Asgore can buff him, sure, but think of it this way. Against a boss where you can't stack Asgore's passive as fast, why not just take Eldirion, who, sure, he gives less of a buff, but it's, you don't have to stack it. You can just start going at it from turn 1, turn 2. Uh, It's, I really don't think chaos buffers specifically being limited to chaos is a nice thing if I'm putting it mildly. Uh, I do want to build chaos. I really like chaos, and I'm building Abrax for full transparency. I got Diamond too, but the issue is I'm not building him for his passive. I'm not building him as a buffer. I'm building him as a neurotrope stacker. I just wish there were chaos buffers in the game, that at least one that was universally good for all the characters and did something special with chaos, similar to Eldrion, Athena, and Calgar. Because right now, Asgore is really cool, but he doesn't really break anything, if that makes sense. When Karn gets released, I'm really interested to see what he brings to the table. But currently, I'm a little disappointed with the state of chaos buffers in Tacticus. Anyways, Bloody Rose Discord server, it's a nice place filled with awesome people. Since you're an awesome person, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, I've been told you want to join. I've been told that I'm not gaslighting you. I've been told. So, great place. If you join in, say, hey, Draupnir gang, it'll be really funny. I've been told 2 people did this, and people are like, well, what's happening, Draupnir? Oh my God. And I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It made me so happy. Anyways, thank you very much for watching my video. I greatly appreciate it. He's my refer friend code if you want to enter it. It's cool. If you don't, I don't even care. Thank you very much. Have a great day and stay safe.